Alright, so this question says that find the greatest common factor of 12 and 18. We have to find the greatest common factor of 12 and 18. So we first start off by listing the factors of 12 and then the factors of 18. So there are two ways that you can do this. We are going to look at all those ways. So the first one is by listing the factors themselves. So you say factors of 12. In the factors of 12, you have learned that the factors are the numbers that you can use to divide the given number without getting a remainder. So the first factor of 12 is 1. And we know that once we have 1, the number that we can use to multiply 1 to get 12 is 12 itself. So you can use a pencil to write under it, so that once you get to the middle, then all the numbers beneath becomes the next numbers, the next factors that you're going to just list. The next factor is 2. And what number can you multiply by 2 to get 12? That is 6. The next factor is 3. And similarly, the number that you can multiply 3 by to get 12 is 4. So you can see here that we have gotten to the middle. That is 3 times 4 will give you 12. That means the rest of the factors are the numbers that we have written at the bottom here. So you just 4, 6, and 12. So those are the factors of 12. We use a pencil so that once you are done, you can clean it. Then the next one is factors of 18. So factors of 18. The factors of 18, the same thing that we did. The first one is 1. So 1 times 18. The next one is 2. 2 times 9 will give us 18. The next one is 3. 3 times 6 will give us 18. And we know that 4 cannot be a factor of 18, 5 cannot be a factor of 18. So it means the rest of the factors are what we have down here. So 6, 9, and 18. So these are the factors of 18. And you can clean this with your eraser. So out of these two lists, this is the factors of 12, this is the factors of 18. Out of these two lists, which of the factors are common to each of the sets that we have here? That means what factor can we see in the list of factors of 12 and at the same time the list of factors of 18? Those are what we call common factors. So let's list them. So the common factors, that is the factors that are present in the list of factors of 12 and at the same time the list of factors of 18. So let's look at them critically. I can see 1 here and I can see 1 here as well. So it means 1 is a common factor of 12 and 18. So you write it. Let's look through again. What about 2? 2 is here, 2 is here. So 2 is also common to each of the factors of 12 and 18. So 2 is part of the common factors. What about 3? 3 is also here and at the same time here. So 3 is also a common factor. 4 is just in the list of the set of factors of 12, but it is not here. So 4 cannot be part of the common factors. But I can see that 6 is here, 6 is here. So 6 is part of the set of common factors of 12 and 18. So it means that these 4 numbers, they are the numbers that can be found in the list of factors of 12 and at the same time the list of factors of 18. So these are the common factors. But the question asked us to find the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is the greatest number or the highest number in the list of common factors. So when you are looking at these numbers, which of them is the highest or the biggest or the greatest, we can see that it is what? 6. So it means that the greatest common factor, you see, therefore the greatest common factor which we normally write as GCF is 6 because it is the greatest number inside of the list of common factors of 12 and 18. What it implies is that this is the biggest number that can divide 12 and at the same time 18. This is the biggest number that can divide 12 and at the same time 18. So that is what the greatest common factor means. The biggest number or the biggest factor that can divide any two given numbers at the same time. That is what we mean by the greatest common factor. We can also use the method of prime factorization to find the greatest common factor. So what do I mean by that? It means we can express 12 as a product of some prime numbers, and then we express 18 as a product of some prime numbers. So for instance, 12, when we have 12, we can write 12 as 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. So you can see that these are prime numbers, 2, 2, and 3. So it means that 12 here can be written in this form. This is what we mean by prime factorization. Then 18. So if we are even writing this in indices form, this can be written as 2 squared times 3. 18 can also be written in this form, 2 times 3 times 3. So you can see here 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18. So this also can be written as 2 times 3 squared. Now when we are using the method of prime factorization to find the greatest common factor, all that we are going to do is we look at each of the individual prime numbers that we are given, and then we will take, looking at each of the prime numbers, we will take the one that has the least power. So for instance, we see that this is 2 squared here, but in the prime factorization of 18, 2 is only to the power of 1. Any number to the power of 1, it's the number itself. So it means that we have to take the prime number that has the least power. So it means that for GCF of 12 and 18, for the prime number 2, we are only taking 2, because comparing this and this is the one that has the least power. Then we come to the prime number 3, because I can see a prime number 3 here, then I can see a prime number 3 here. So this as well, I have to take the one that has the least power. So this is 3 squared, and this is 3 to the power 1. So it means that I have to take this one. So you see multiplied by 3. And that means that your GCF is 6. Then you say, therefore, the GCF, or the greatest common factor of 12 and 18, is 6. That becomes your answer. So you can look at the method of prime factorization, and you can look at the method of listing the individual factors. But as you go along in mathematics, you should learn this the most, because this is using indices, and indices is also another lesson on its own. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Kindly subscribe to the channel to help us grow. Keep learning. Goodbye.